Hello everyone, this is Robyn, live from the Robyn's Nest, giving you another Robyn's Rant. And as you can see by my hoodie, this is a rant on Trayvon Martin. You know, when I first moved into this neighborhood in Roxborough, I hated the fact that every time I had to go to a store, be it a supermarket or a 7-Eleven, even though it was close by, it would take me anywhere up to 10 to 20 minutes just to walk down the street or up the corner just to buy something small, like a bag of chips or a bottle of soda or candy or whatever. I used to do that on a regular basis. I would go out at night to go to a convenience store just so I can get myself some snacks because I was watching TV. And we've all done it. We've all done it, and we've made no thoughts, no bones about it, because we just figured we're just going around the corner just to get something to eat. We'll be right back. And it's so sad and so tragic that all of this had to happen because one kid wanted to go out to buy a bag of Skittles and a can of Arizona iced tea, which I love, by the way. I love Arizona. When I used to do that, my mom would always get really upset with me because she was always so afraid that I was not going to come back. And she would always tell me to be careful, and I'd always say, I'm going to be fine, I got my phone, everything's going to be okay. And I would think about it, I would get a little bit nervous, but my thought was, why should I let fear stop me from doing anything I want to do? And besides, I'm just going to the corner store. It's a shame to know that now going to the corner store can possibly cost you your life. The neighborhood that I live in is not a gated community, but it is a upper crusty section of the city. It is predominantly racially mixed. I will admit that there are more whites than blacks here. And I will admit, when there have been times when I have walked to and from my convenience store, my 7-Eleven, there have been neighbors looking at me as I walk down the block, wondering if I'm going to do something, wondering if I'm going to hurt them, wondering if I have some type of weapon. And all I am, is just a girl going to a convenience store just to buy a bag of chips. The actions of George Zimmerman reflect the time that we're living in, the times that we're living in. We are living in an age where everybody is paranoid and scared about everything. Everybody is looking at everybody else and thinking, ooh, is this person going to hurt me next? And that's the reason why George Zimmerman acted the way that he did. It doesn't matter if what his racial background is, whether he's white or Hispanic or what. He profiled this kid. He took a look and saw a young black man, someone under the age of 20, wearing a hoodie, and he had his hands in his pockets, supposedly his hands in his pockets. And he just naturally assumed that because he had the stereotypical look, that he was obviously a gang-banging thug out to case houses so he can rob them. He acted with paranoia and fear. He made up his mind that this boy was guilty of something. He was this boy's judge, jury, and executioner, all in a matter of 15 minutes. And that is not fair. You cannot continuously judge people about how they look. Doesn't matter about the color of their skin. You can't judge people on what they wear. Doesn't matter if they're wearing a hoodie. Everybody wears hoodies. And it just so happens that that particular night, when that boy decided to leave in the middle of a halftime basketball game, I think it was the All-Star basketball game, to go pick up some candy and some tea for himself and his brother, it was raining that night. It was a light rain, and he had his hood up, probably so he wouldn't get his hair wet. Or maybe he had his hood up just because he liked to wear it, or because it made him look cool, or whatever his reason was, it doesn't matter. He was just a kid going to the store to buy candy, which is what all kids do. Even if George Zimmerman had expected the worst from this kid, even if he wanted to assume that this kid was guilty, he was warned not to follow him. He was warned not to pursue him. He was warned not to instigate any action. And he took it upon himself to do it anyway. Because he decided to disregard what he was told, that makes him guilty. And he should be arrested. But I do know one thing. I'm sure since this past month has gone by, he is, and the groundswell that it has erupted from this, I know he is damn sorry for his actions that day. Do I believe that he was a gung-ho, loose cannon cop? It's a possibility. Just by hearing the fact that he disregarded the warning of not following this kid makes me feel that he was. But I can be wrong. I wasn't there. I didn't see or hear what happened at that time. I did hear the 911 tape, one of the 911 tapes, one of the eight or nine 911 tapes, and it was chilling to hear this poor boy screaming at the top of his lungs, crying for help, while George Zimmerman is looking at this kid and thinking that he's the bad guy just because he's wearing a hoodie and he was talking on his cell phone with his girlfriend. And George Zimmerman just naturally assumed that he was on drugs and that he was up to no good. When his big, fat ass, 200-pound, oafish body went running down the street, chasing after this kid with a gun, did he even stop to think that maybe, just maybe, Trayvon saw him and thought that he was about to be robbed himself? That he was about to be hurt, that some bad man, some stranger was chasing after him. You can hear it in his voice. If you don't believe me, listen to the 911 tape and you will hear a scared, frightened child for his life. You will hear the gunshots. And if you disregard the people who are making the calls, eventually, after the shots, you won't hear the boy say anything anymore. You won't hear him scream for help. The only thing you can imagine is the life draining from his body. The thoughts of he'll probably never see his family, his mom, his dad, his siblings ever again. His friends. He'll never get to go to the prom with his girlfriend. He'll never get to go to college. He'll never get to do all those things that he ever wanted to do just because he went out one night to buy snacks. And all because one person had it in his mind that he was up to no good. We gotta stop this, people. We gotta stop living in fear all the time. This is not to say that we should put ourselves in harm's way and trust everybody in the planet, even a serial killer. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that sometimes you need to look at both sides of the situation, and what you think is somebody up to no good and doing wrong, just think they might look at you and think the same thing about you. We can't keep judging books by their covers. We're losing too many people, America. We're losing too many people. We're losing too many kids over nonsense. And as for me, I'm going to have to be careful from now on. If I want something, I have to get it early. And I just have to be wary of my surroundings. I don't have anything else to say. Just think about it, people. Think about it, and if you have kids, hug them tight. This is Robyn, live from the Robin's Nest, saying for what it's worth, peace.